Hello and welcome to Cinemondo with Kathy and my special guest Melanie from Daisy. Did I say that right?
Daisy, yeah.
Daisy.
I don't think I say it right. I've been mocked a little bit.
Oh,
but
it's your name. You call it what you want.
Oh, well, it's that Chicago R, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Hey, we have our accents. It's just how it works.
Yeah,
No,
it's just my accent.
But I'll be putting a link. Be sure and it'll probably be over there, over you, sending it to your website. I know exactly. So, in honor of today, you may have noticed I have my Baahubali T-shirt on.
I don't have with me. I have a Baahubali sweatshirt, but it's in my it's in Chicago. But yeah, I definitely have one. So
yeah, you gotta have one. Yeah. I wish it was a little smaller because really all you see is him, which isn't bad. I just like the elephant.
It's all good.
It's always good.
But I have one with Prabhas on one side and Rana on the other, you know. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was. It's amazing what a phenomenon Baahubali is. Like, you're coming into it late after seeing RRR. So I wanted to set the stage. I saw the first Baahubali film. It was my very first Telugu film. And so I saw it in theaters. And my next door neighbor is from South India, but she's not Telugu speaking. She's like, people at work are talking about this Baahubali movie. You want to go? And I was just like, sure, whatever. And then we get to the theater. I'm like, $20? I'm like, this better be worth it.
You're charging by the hour?
You know, but I really went in not knowing anything. I'd never seen another Telugu film in my life. Okay, so for just whatever you say about Baahubali, it's the whole reason for me having my channel, because it was the second movie. When that came out, somebody interviewed me for their channel for Bolly Fools. And then they were like, have you ever thought about being on YouTube? So, I mean, the Baahubali films are so meaningful for me for a lot of reasons. I saw the first film in the theaters alone 4 times. It's one of the few Indian films that I have sat my family down and made them watch the movie, you know, because my family is very Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And I was just like, this one is like that. You have to watch it with me.
It really is.
Right. And then when the second one came out, I made them all go to the theater with me. Like, I went first day for show, but then, you know, just picture the 5 of us in the theater and Indian families walking in and doing a double take, like, wait, we're in the wrong theater.
Do they know where they are?
But I mean, this was one that, you know, I was just like, it meant so much to me that I had to share it with my family. And mostly it's like the Indian films are just, you know, mom's thing, and, you know, that just mom's crazy thing. But I was like, no, you have to share this with me. This is so amazing. So you have to come with me. And so picture 2015, I didn't know that we were going to end the first film on a cliffhanger. I'm like, what?
I know, just boom. And wait, what?
And then it said it was coming in 2016. It didn't come out in 2016. We had to wait 2 long years to find out why did Cut the Butt kill Baahubali.
Why? It was a terrible ending. Oh my God.
You were able to binge the 2 films back to back, but I had 2 years in between of just dying. Okay. And the joy I felt, the wonder I felt at some of those opening sequences, I mean, it sort of reminded me, I don't know, like, you remember way back in the day, like Greystoke. It's sort of like, it's just like the wonder of this nature and the way he's leaping over logs and climbing on vines. And I don't know, just, and the waterfall, right? Like, just the imagery. And I watched that Devara song like over and over and over and over and over again when that came out on video, because we didn't have it to watch again. Like, either you went to the theater to watch it, you know, or they slowly released some of the music videos, and I just watched them over. I was obsessed with the soundtrack, like everything about it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that started me on a journey of seeing more Prabhas films, I think I've seen like 10 Rajamouli films, you know, like gone back and seen some of his other films. And I've learned since then he has a team, right?
Yep.
Like you frequently, his father's a script writer, his wife does costumes. He's used the same cinematographer for several films.
Yep.
Senthil Kumar, like that's part of what makes these films so amazing. These images that we're seeing in front of us, right? Like the music is amazing. Kiravani, that all of the whole soundtrack, just mind blowing. So, and I totally felt for Prabhas. Like I have a whole like birthday video on my channel of me basically being this huge fangirl and talking about he's so amazing. Okay, like, I mean, I have no shame. Okay, but I will say after the Baahubali films, he devoted 5 years of his life to the Baahubali films. He has not made the smartest choices in films since then.
Yeah, he always feels like he's a little better than the films. Some of the films he's choosing, like you keep wishing, like, God, he's too good for. Why is he in this? Like,
okay, like Saho, I spent $25 on 2 tickets because I brought my husband because I was sure it was going to be amazing.
Of course.
And we're sitting in the IMAX theater watching this, and my husband was like, "I have no idea what's going on. What is even happening?" Like, I'm not saying there weren't some good action sequences and whatever in that film, but
no.
And so I'm hopeful for some of the projects that he has coming up. I hope he's made some better choices, but he made one of the best decisions of his life when he signed on for Baahubali.
He will live forever as that, which is really good when you think about it.
I mean, this wasn't his first film with Rajamouli. They did this film Chhatrapati, which you have, if you haven't seen the amazing entry scene of Prabhas where he punches a shark, like I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Like you have to, I mean, it's janky VHX.
That's part of its charm.
It is epic.
Exactly. I know. It's so true.
It's just absolutely epic.
You know,
and I do love RRR, but I have said many times I still love Baahubali more because how does the film begin? With a badass woman.
Always, of course.
I mean, I love the bromance in RRR. I'm not taking anything away from that.
Yeah. But
one of the strengths of the Baahubali films is the badass women.
It really is.
Avantika. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Like, it's so true. It's like you don't see those kind of characters. And I was kind of surprised there weren't more great female characters in RRR. I mean, I feel like they were still a little bit sidelined, like you said, by the the bromance, which was clearly the focus. And I wasn't really believing the relationships that much anyway with the women. It was kind of, you knew that wasn't the priority, right? But again, like Baahubali is one of my first Indian films, because we were, when we started our channel, it was just, we were just trying stuff out, and then we kept getting these requests, do Baahubali. It kept coming out over and over and over, like, well, I guess I'm going to watch this, and I was, let's try it, and I started watching it like, we'll see. And I'm just like going, holy shit, this is crazy. I haven't seen anything like this. And I think that's one of the things too, that is just, I guess, Rajamouli, because he has such an incredible visual sense. He's always showing me things I have not seen ever. And I've seen every movie known to man. And when I'm seeing something new, that's what I like. So I've heard people saying, oh, RRR isn't that good. I don't know why people like it. Well, number one, I'm seeing incredible visuals. I'm seeing things I've never seen before. I'm seeing a pure, sincere, no cynicism, pure entertainment, glorious, whatever. It's on the screen. I think that's what I love about Baahubali too. 1 and 2, I have to say also, is that there is a complete lack of cynicism. It is fully invested. We'll talk about 1 mostly right now, but it's like you're in it and they're not outside of it looking in, trying to make it what it's not, or going, oh, I'm a little embarrassed about this scene, but whatever. They were just shameless. They're like, I'm going to do it. It's going to be over the top. And like you said, they have these
we're going to have 100 foot tall gold statue. Okay, let's just,
why not? It's like, it doesn't have to be 50 feet tall. It could have been 20 feet tall, but no, we're going to make it 100. Everything's like cranked up to maximum. Right?
So let's just think about that one scene. Like all of the extras, we don't just have one dancing group. We have 3 different dancing groups, different competing music going. Like I mean, like, my mind is
Glorious.
blown over and over and over at the
Glorious.
visuals, not just the visuals, but the soundscape you're giving me, the
Yep.
scope of the imagination.
Yep.
Yeah, like the behind the scenes building, like they built 100 foot, like, I mean, this is not all CGI, right?
No.
Yes, there is a lot of CGI. It's pretty good,
Yep.
but there's some just practical things that they
Yeah.
built
Yep.
to give this movie a scope and a scale that we don't get in the
No.
you know,
We don't.
I suppose Eternals went out of their way to film on
Yeah.
real locations and not rely on absolutely everything being CGI. Okay,
Right. Right.
but that is a singular movie. That's not the everyday. You know,
Nope.
I mean, most of the time it's okay. We can just create whatever, you know, flights of fancy we want in CGI, and that's fine. But there's just something about seeing things that are real, like, you know, that are
Because
really
even if it's good, you're still in your head clocking it as not being real, not even intentionally. Like I am very forgiving of CGI because I'm fine if they're trying to tell me a story and I'm recognizing CGI. I don't care. I mean, they're getting it across unless it's super lazy, like, you know, but mostly it could be budgetary. But I know that if they're doing something really over the top and insane, that if the CGI isn't fully 100%, I'm still on board. Like I'm totally fine with it. They're trying to get an emotion across. If they're trying to make it about the effect, then you can't do that. But they're usually, it's just something to sort of enhance whatever's happening overall in the story. So I'm fully for that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny you were talking about the composer, you know, Kiravani.
Yeah.
He, when I went to the RR screening where he and Rajamouli, Ram Charan, and the cinematographer, what was his name again?
Senthil Kumar.
Yes. They were all there, and I love that they're giving these guys some publicity like that. They should be on screen more. And he led this little hum along to the main theme in RRR, and the audience knew it. They did it. He goes, "Okay, let's do it." And he goes, "Dun dun dun," and everybody was singing it and thrilled. It was so fun, and so it's really great. I love that he brings those same people along with him because he trusts them. He knows he can get what he needs. He knows that they know what he wants, and you can just feel the family affection that everybody has. Are all super supportive because there is that especially in Los Angeles, a cynicism about the business. Like, you know, they're not really these families that move from
gun for hire kind of thing, right? Like, you know,
not that closeness.
You think about, I'm blanking her name, but you think about Scorsese has had the same editor for decades, right? Now that's the kind of thing, the relationships that we're seeing here, where you have, you know, they can almost be in each other's minds to know, I know this is what they want. I know
exactly
or this is how I can make what he's describing to me even better, right? Like how I can realize this vision and take it even beyond. And that's the kind of feeling that you get.
You do.
And I just love the whole world building that we get in this first film. Like we get this, you know, fantastical kingdom. We get, you know, we get Avantika. We don't know what this whole backstory is. Why is there this band of rebels that are in this cave? Like, there's so many unanswered questions at the end of the film, and yet you still feel satisfied with the story. You feel like, oh my gosh, I've been on this journey. Like, you know, but you still, what a cliffhanger! Like, it's the cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers. Like, oh my god,
it was brutal. And I watched them back to back.
Like, forget Fellowship of the Ring or any of those. Like, forget it. Like,
and also, like, when I watched the first one and that ending, I was like, I don't want to see another one without him in it. This is crazy. I'm not gonna. And then I'm like, well, he is on the poster, so okay, I'm gonna watch it. But I was really disappointed thinking he wasn't gonna be in the second movie because I didn't know. You know, I thought, oh wow, that was pretty ballsy killing off your main character like that. Oh.
So one thing that I learned, because as I said, this was my first Telugu film, I didn't know anything really about the actors or anything. So the actor that plays Kattappa, his name is Satyaraj, and he also has a history of doing a very successful film with Prabhas called Mirchi, which means like hot, spicy, you know, anger, whatever. And so he plays his father in that film.
Okay.
And it's a village. Highly recommend. So that was like they had this huge hit where they had played this father and son, and often you see Satyaraj play father figures in films. I mean, he's been villains too, but I'm just saying. But to see his introduction scene in this movie.
Oh, popping pop. Oh, God.
No, sorry.
It's okay if it's once in a while, but this one was really popping off.
Oh,
okay, go ahead. Okay,
his introduction scene in this movie. First of all, we have a cameo by Sandeep, who plays
nice.
sort of, the Middle Eastern merchant. Now, that's a cameo because Sandeep was one of the stars of Ega. I don't know if
love that.
Right. Okay.
So fun.
Right. So it's just a cameo, but it sets up us learning that Katapa is this awesome, amazing swordsman, whatever, badass warrior, right?
Right.
Like he's a slave. He has this, relationship with the royal family, but so it's just setting us up. And I will just mention it now, and I'll mention it when we talk about Baahubali too. But Sandeep's, I don't even remember what his merchant's name was, but he says, if you ever need a friend, you can call on me. And so my husband, as I'm watching the films this week, rewatching them, he's like, that was a dangling thread that I was angry that wasn't picked up on in the second film.
Interesting.
Where was, because if you think, I don't know if you've seen Magadera, but it's like, to have a group of warriors show up to help, like you sort of expect it when that line happens, and then we never see that guy again. It literally was just a cameo, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if there was something planned that then they changed their mind.
Right.
Or if Sandeep wasn't available, or I mean, they were filming this for so much time. Like
that's true.
I don't know what happened there, or if it was just a throwaway line that they didn't realize would have that kind of significance. But my husband was like, "There was foreshadowing, no payoff." I'm like, okay,
he's paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, well,
wow.
So, and and I love the character of Avantika. Okay, like she is one of the most amazing characters that
I love her too.
Seen in Indian cinema.
I love a warrior princess.
She's such a warrior. And I will tell you, like, I've had such mixed emotions about her scenes with Prabhas. Okay, because I love that reveal that when the whole song fantasy sequence and he's chasing after her, love all of that. Okay, and then he sees her running and he thinks she's a damsel in distress. And, oh no.
I love that too.
Calling for the sword, okay, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then though, this is sort of like, okay, I'm watching a film by a male filmmaker, right? Because she's looking at herself and wishing she could just be a beautiful maiden and not a warrior. Like it's a little, I mean, this is literally, I've seen this film a dozen times. Okay. So first time you're just like, wow. Everything is just wow. And then now, like I see certain scenes, and for instance, what does Prabhas do when he finally catches up with her? Yeah. He does this whole glamour makeover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it didn't work.
He grabs the berries and and whatever to make the eye makeup, changes her out of her warrior. Like you're not, I mean, in one sense I can see like you're trying to say, I see the beauty in you.
Yes.
Right? Everybody else just sees you as this warrior. I see the beauty in you. I see, but literally his pickup line is, I am a man, you are a woman. Yeah.
And this is what you're supposed to look like. I know, it's so funny. I pulled that out too. That was my only little and so I see that and I'm like, why would they create this great, they show her running, fighting, being great, and he's kind of stalking. I saw a little stalkery, but he's like stalking her, and then like you say, he catches up with her and he's like, now you do what women do. It's like, wait, what? No. And it's like
I'm just kind of, I mean, it's like it's not with her consent that he is disrobing her.
I know, I thought that was weird too.
Okay, but I'm just gonna admit my feelings of that, like him picking up the jewel off her belly is still sexy as AF. Like
it is, because you knew, I mean, they're playing that like deep down she wants him to do it, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead, I guess, and fly with that idea, even though it's like the creepiest idea ever, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them because it was happening.
And then she gets injured and she literally does become the damsel in distress that he has to rescue. Okay. Okay. But
a misstep for a film that has so many great female characters.
Right. but I mean, I will just say the
small
love story, the way it develops in the second film,
Yeah.
I think is superior to this. But the Avantika character, I will still say, is an awesome creation. Thank you, Rajamouli, for giving us Avantika, right? And I have seen several other films with Tamina, who plays Avantika, and this is her best role. Like, she's amazing in this. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the whole thing, like, I'm going to tattoo you without your permission, like that. You know, it's like when you come out of the movie and you kind of think about things again. You're like, oh,
I know they didn't age well. It's like
okay.
I know, and it was cool the way the tattoos completed. That was a cool moment, but it's still like the whole snake thing. And that was my other little like. And these are small quibbles. I feel like we're taking down a movie a little bit that we actually both really love, but the animal stuff, and Rajamouli keeps doing it. I don't like the animal stuff. I think it's unnecessary, and thank God it's very CGI looking, or I'd have bigger problems. They had a lot of the same problems in RR with the tiger and all that. And
I mean, if we're talking quibbles, my other quibble is the blackface of the Kalakea tribe. Okay.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was watching it going,
Okay, like I and he can say and he has a reason, and he's talked about beam and whatever, like he just he claims this, like I didn't even know what caste was until I was in college. Okay. Okay, I'm not leaving you on that one, bud. If you're telling me that you admire Braveheart and Mel Gibson, paint these people blue. Like, why do they have to be painted black? Why paint them blue instead? It doesn't have to be that the darkest people are the bad guys.
Exactly.
And so again, but kudos to like sort of creating this whole language, and I mean, it's like but it's like, again, one of those things that's kind of jarring when you go back and like, if you're really going to analyze it. Does it stop my enjoyment of the film? And let's talk about Rana Dagabati. You're going to have a hero, and if you're going to, like, he has to have the really good villain to go against, right? Rana Dagabati is, and he has an amazing introduction scene. That whole bull scene is just
crazy,
right?
Crazy. Yeah.
So side little note again, since you're newish to Telugu films, the actor that plays the prince, the son of Balaladeva, so Rana Dagabati's son in the film, the one that gets his head chopped off.
that was another shocking moment.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that actor's name is Advi Sesh.
Okay.
So the guy that plays the prince, that actor's name is Advi Sesh. So Rana Dagabati, Bala's son, who was always like,
he was so sad.
Right, the one that gets his head chopped off. His name is the actor's name is Advi Sesh. He grew up in California, and he's gone back to India. He is an amazing script writer. And he has become a huge star in his own right. So I would highly recommend you check out his spy film, Gudachari, which he wrote the script himself.
Cool.
He had a recent film, Major, where he was doing a biopic of a real person. So funny to see him, like, he's the guy that's head chopped off in this film. Small supporting role.
But very, very memorable.
Very memorable, yes. And I think Ramya Krishna, who plays Shivagami, it's just one of the most singular characters ever. Like the scene of her taking both babies. She's holding a baby. She stabs a guy with a dagger. She's breastfeeding both of them in front of everybody. I'm like,
loved it.
Bow down.
She was a huge highlight. I love the way she would sit in the throne.
Oh yeah.
Be all just like, that's right. I'm in charge. And she was so badass. I loved her so much.
Oh, great. Now there has been a novel written, a prequel, because you kind of wonder, how does Shivagami get with this one brother? Why is she married to this guy? What's her soul backstory? So there was a novel written, and so if there would ever be a Baahubali 3, I think it might be a prequel about her character, which
That would be great.
I'd be all about that, right?
Can you imagine having a film, by Rajamouli that was actually centered around a strong female character, the whole thing, and he treats her like she treats these men in these movies, being super heroic and amazing? I would love. That's the one. I feel like that's the one thing he hasn't really shown us is that aspect. He's given us hints, but of all the movies I've seen, it's always been super strong male character. Fully on board for that. Beautiful visuals. Great, solid filmmaking, storytelling. Not so great with the women characters, but he's created some really great ones like this one.
Yeah.
Great. So many great characters. But bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it to the forefront.
And Baahubali 2 as well.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I feel like female character kind of got equal weight for quite a bit of the movie, so that was really strong. But you're right. I would love to see what would he do. He has these relationships. I mean, he's done more than one film with Anushka Shetty. I would love to see it.
It would be awesome. So this is an intro, and I've talked to other people who like some other YouTube channels that have done some Indian films, and a lot of them, this is the movie that they all started with. And it's like, this seems to be a great intro. And now that I know friends that since RRR came out, that's becoming the intro. I feel like you guys, if you liked this movie, you will love Baahubali 1 and 2. If you can't get enough of RRR, go back and watch Baahubali, because it's almost better in a way, because you don't have to deal with the colonialism aspect, the weird, that whole weird thing.
Just alone because of the great female characters.
Yes.
I feel like these two are the stronger films.
Yeah.
And you're right. This was the intro film because it came on Netflix.
Yep.
Okay. There's a weird thing with the licensing because Karan Johar, who we talked about, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, he bought, when he saw Rajamouli was making this movie, he bought the Hindi rights. Okay. So his production company that released this movie in Hindi. Okay. And then there were separate rights for the other regional languages. So that's why Netflix only has Hindi, Tamil, and Malayalam. Okay. And Telugu is so hard. It was only released on YouTube initially. You could buy it or whatever on YouTube. But I mean, my copy is long gone. So I found a way. I had to buy it again. Know what I mean? Like, it was on, I don't remember if it was Hotstar or whatever in Telugu, but to watch it with the original people's language. I'm not saying the people that did the dubbing aren't good.
Yeah.
And I was only able to find the second film with subtitles, not in Telugu. So, and so many of these actors are multilingual that, for instance, I think Rana dubbed himself, as Bala. Ramya Krishna, she dubbed herself. Nasser, who plays her evil husband, he dubs himself. So there are many of them that can dub for themselves, and I'm not giving any, it's just like, I want to hear Prabhas. Like, okay.
I know. Right. That's like,
I want to hear him.
Exactly.
So, yeah, at least for one of the two, I was able to find it in Telugu with subtitles. But I don't literally imagine me. I ordered the DVD and I was crushed because the only audio was the Hindi dub. You cannot buy this in DVD. You've never been able to buy it in DVD.
So weird.
It is. I mean, I know India is kind of in this transition of getting away from making DVDs, and this was kind of one of the singular moments that made me realize, okay, but I mean, this is a movie I would want to hold in my little hand. I want to, I would just like to own it, and come on, Rajamouli, please throw us a
come on. Now he's got some, now he's got a lot more. Well, he's always had a lot of cred and weight, but it's like,
special edition. We'll fork over the money.
This is the time to promote his old films. This is it. I mean, people want to see more, and they will not be disappointed because his visual, trickery and cinematography. Oh my God, nobody touches this guy. Like, he is insane. Like, I was watching Baahubali 2, and we'll talk about this with the palm tree stunt. I said
that was the palm trees that launched 1,000 memes, right?
Well, I know. I was like, gotta see this. It's like, I've never seen this before.
Many people saw the GIF of that when the movie came out. There was on video or whatever. A GIF of that scene was what got a lot of people to watch the movies because what is this? This is insane.
It is insane.
Literally that one little scene, and they're like, "What is this movie?" Okay. And everybody's like, go to Netflix.
And that is kind of the difference, I think, between Baahubali 1 and 2. They both have these beautiful, over-the-top, gorgeous visuals. Everything's still turned up to the max. But you could tell, and we'll talk about this when we get to 2, and you guys stay tuned. Go to our next, we're going to do 2 of these, 2 separate videos.
Yeah.
The amplifying of the stunts and the beauty are gorgeous in 2, but there's something about, in part 1, the more grounded, beautiful, like him just climbing that mountain and doing the waterfall stuff. I could watch that all day long. Like, that wasn't even that fancy. It was like totally doable, but it was like so epic and so gorgeous. And I just love the whole fantasy feel to it.
Yes.
Like you said, Lord of the Rings, it just was so unexpected. Like just beautiful for beauty's sake. No, like I said, no holding back and going, oh, this is too corny. Like, he does not know the word corny. He's like, I'm going to just do what I feel I want to do. And I don't care if people want to laugh. It's fine if they want to laugh.
And I do remember it was those opening sequences of him climbing the waterfall, whatever trailer, I was able to see. It was those scenes that was like, I need to see this on the big screen. And this was the reason why I saw it 4 times in theaters. Like, it's never the same again. I'm sorry you didn't get to see it on the big screen. I mean, I have a pretty big TV at home, but I mean, just the glory and the grandeur and hearing the rumble of the waterfall in the theater was, it's very few movies that I go back. Always when there's that Twitter question, what's a movie that you've seen 10 times? It's always for me, it's Baahubali. Like, I saw it 4 times in the theater. The second one I also saw 4 times in the theater. and then it's multiple times. I hadn't seen it for a while. And so this was really fun revisiting both of them.
Yes, it was.
And I noticed from my husband, he'll walk through the room, but these films he was stopping and watching. Like, he's seen it before. He's walked through the room and he's very familiar with the films, right? He's seen it probably multiple times with me. But this was a film that gets him to sit down and watch. Like, other ones, not so much. But, we didn't even talk about the battle sequence. And like,
oh my God, 45 minutes. Like, a battle for 45 minutes. That's crazy. And you are not getting bored. And that's where I love, like, the editing. This is where the editing and cinematography happen, because you can tell exactly what's happening. You know where you are in this battle. It's super complicated. I've seen other battle scenes. I'm like, what the hell's happening? This is chaos. They did these in beautiful, insane stunts and like huge, massive cast, but you always knew where you were in the place, what was happening, and who was coming for you. It's like, that is so hard to do.
So hard. Right. So hard to do. Because I've seen so many other films since that have had battle sequences. And I think again about this and exactly what you're saying. So many films, they're just showing chaotic sword fighting or whatever, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't. Who am I supposed to be rooting for?
It's like, was he on the left or the right
in this chaos? Like, and you're exactly right. Like, even if it's a wide shot and we see bodies flying, like, we know that the swirling chariot of death.
Oh my God, the chariot
running through or whatever. Like,
crazy.
And how about the image of that huge lion and like putting it on the villain's head? Like, oh my
so God. Good. I mean, the visuals are just. I have not seen this before.
Yes, exactly. How many battle scenes have we seen? How many sword fight movies have I seen? Right. I was seeing things that were new that I've never seen before.
So good.
And really so many strong characters and but just imagine me at the end of that movie and then that silhouette of the sword going his back, and I'm like, because we've not only have we fallen in love with Baahubali, we've fallen in love with Katapa, right? Like,
I know it was terrible.
And we're like, what?
I'm like, don't do this. Don't do this. Stop it.
So we're leaving you on this cliffhanger, and we're going to talk about the second film.
That's right.
In another video. But again, so much love for this movie. Yes, I have quibbled about a few things about it, but this was literally a movie that changed my life. I mean,
me too, technically. I mean, I wouldn't have met you without Baahubali. I can show a few posters real quick. We can show just a quick, how they were marketing this movie. And some of these are like, we have the
epic
teaser.
Epic.
This is the big entry.
Right, because if you don't have anything, you're like, what the heck? Like, happening? Right? I mean, it looks like from a fantasy movie or something.
Yes, it does.
And you have this hand sticking out of the water, and this baby,
And like, what? And they have this beautiful sky. Like, this is like, to me, the perfect palette, the perfect sky and water effects that you would put in a poster. You want it to be an epic fantasy film movie. This is perfect.
Yeah, and this font, is just, this is the Baahubali font, right?
Yes.
Like, it is just so signature, like, and you see anything with that. And then it's intriguing because you're like, something I didn't realize going into it, the beginning, right? I mean,
right.
They are telling you that this is not going to be the only film, but I didn't know that going in. I wasn't
I'm sure that the beginning will also end. I don't know why that would just be the beginning.
But it's amazing, and it is one of the signature unforgettable scenes from the movie. So very worthy to be one of the posters.
And involves an incredibly badass woman. Then we have, Then we have this one. You just have to see him in his cool outfit.
One thing that I didn't mention is, when we see him, I guess we'll talk about it more in the second film, but he never picks up a, it is the last scene that Shiva, the son, never picks up a weapon.
That's right.
He only uses his fists, or he's pushing people. He uses a sword at one point to cut the chains of his mother that he doesn't even know he's a mother, but then he tosses it. So these are the kind of details that I noticed watching it 10, 12 times.
That's right.
Is that, when he saves Avantika from the people that had thrown the net over her, again, he's just pushing people. He's pushing horses. He's grabbing rocks and making sleds.
Yeah, whatever's available. Available weapons.
The only moment that he picks up a sword and uses it as a sword is that iconic moment when, again, the horse sword that he's holding here in this poster flies through the air. He grabs it, cuts the prince's head off. And that is, so, I mean, it's like a character thing about him, right? Like he lived with this simple tribe.
That's right.
I mean, I could believe he had archery skills and whatever, but we're not seeing any of that.
Yeah.
We're just seeing he's brute force.
He's always been shown to be super extra strong. And that's all he really needed was his brawn, right?
Right.
Then we have just the classic. This looks like a re-release because they have the reviews in it now. So a lot of times when a movie comes out and it's getting good reviews, they'll re-release a poster and put quotes on it, which is great. Bang for your buck. That's all you really need to know. And I read this review from The Guardian. They talked about why can't Hollywood make, because this movie was a huge budget at the time, like the largest budget Indian film, but it was still way less than the garbage that Hollywood can put out for way more. Like, why is our stuff so expensive and you get just garbage and they're done? So then you get,
I mean,
of course, people are probably being underpaid a little bit, but and so then here we go. Battle scene, classic. The little bit perspective problem, like these people wouldn't be this high unless I guess they're on a wall, maybe. I can't really tell, but this is a little more confusing poster, but it has the classic. These embers flying in front is a favorite trick of ours that we use, and you'll see in every Mission Impossible movie poster. It's like those embers are like, it's action poster. Let's put some embers on it. We'll do that. So that's a little trick. You can start looking for that on every other poster. But he looks fantastic in this, and against like not your usual weapon. And I don't even know if he even used that spear. I don't know.
When he was going down on his, and he was just tossing people left.
Oh, that's right.
He had one.
Oh, there's that great spear. Oh yeah, that's so good. Yeah, the spear thing was awesome. Again, like he didn't just use a spear; he had to do something crazy with it. Just typical Rajamouli.
Cross behind him, like that's iconic, right? I think that was another poster of him with just the cross spears behind him on the horse.
So excellent.
And then or he's holding a little child in one hand and doing a spear with the other hand.
So good. So you guys, that was our Baahubali overview. We wanted to, check back in with Rajamouli since he's kind of on everyone's mind right now. We thought you need, if you want more, which who doesn't after seeing Triple R, it's like, go watch these movies. You will not be disappointed. This is just as crazy. So we will see you guys. Baahubali Part 2.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.